Hot damn. Sweetheart, it's Q&A, fire away. The old man is locked and loaded and ready to go.
Look at this guy. That was my first impression.
I met Mr. Dabro in a jacuzzi. First thing he said, we're knocking him dead, baby. Turquoise, gold, he's rocking it.
Here we go, babe.
He was 80 years old and ripped.
Not bad for 90, huh, kid?
Yeah, that's something you don't see every day.
You may not know Ken Dabro, but when you hear the voice...
Me. You. And you too.
You'll say, I know that guy.
When I get up in the morning, look in the mirror, I go, you beautiful son of a bitch, I love you. I grew up in Philadelphia. We're talking about the 30s. I was a very wild young man, a rebel. People don't know this. Even though I became one of the preeminent commercial broadcasters in America, I stuttered when I was young, and I had to go for speech therapy. My brother teased me, and somebody else was teasing me. I shot him with a BB gun because I had an attitude. Must have had about 150 street fights, I guess. And I won most of them. I finally learned, after about 18, 19 years of age, if I didn't do something with my attitude, I was going to be dead before I was 30. I knew that I had the ability and I had the choice to change, and I did. In 1949, I became a pressure cooker demonstrator and salesman for Sears Roebuck. I had a lot of titles. I've been the president of a couple free companies. I've been on a few boards. The greatest compliment I could ever get was I was a salesman. I could sell.
You get your butt to Barbera's, Borbeck, and the Boulevard, and the new RVs, and every last one. That was a game changer.
Well, when you need a pitch man, you look no further than Mr. Ken Dabro.
He's probably been on the radio more than almost anybody else in the history of radio.
I've done between 10 and 15 million commercials, and I've written over 10,000 sales campaigns.
Right now for you at Auto Gallery Mitsu.
I'll never forget the first time I heard one of Ken's commercials. Who the hell is this guy? I'm thinking he's awful.
This is Ken Browning for Costa Mesa Hyundai.
They're going to make you say, yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay.
Yippee-yi-yo.
Yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay. Come down to Hyundai today.
The way he punches out an ad like that gets your attention.
That's what makes Barbera number one. Dodge gun round not one, just son. A few, we got a slew.
Hi, folks, it's the Spidey Irishman.
Ken is really the best at what he does.
So whatever he was doing, my approval didn't matter.
First time I used Ken at my Hyundai dealership, we had the biggest weekend we've ever had.
Let me take you high in the sky.
Let me take you high in the Northern California sky so that you can get a bird's eye view of what is truly God's country.
That was Mr. Dabro at his finest.
His voice was all over the country pretty much every weekend.
Denver, San Diego, Phoenix, Los Angeles.
I can still pump out the voice.
Seattle, New York, Georgia, Florida.
There was never a Dabro commercial with music behind it. Never. It was me giving the Gettysburg Address. Kid, that's how it was done.
He talked about being a fighter, and you actually see that when he gets in the studio because he'll like jab with his fist.
I'm still doing it. It's about 90 years of age, still doing it. I'm always selling, but now instead of a product, I'm writing a book. The concept was men start having their mental problems at 40. All of a sudden, you become aware of your mortality. Now you know there is a limit. Now you know there is an end. How you handle that particular 20-year period will determine what the next 30 years of your life are going to be. If you live 5 generations, the most important generation is that middle generation. That's your transitional age. And it was a hell of a stage to go through. But I fought every damn day I had to fight. I swear to God, I was a psychosomatic. Here was a guy who was indestructible when he was 35. And at 38, 39, I think my heart's beating fast. I think my pulse is too fast. All of a sudden, my mortality came into being. And how was I going to handle that? I chose to be positive.
Age is only a number with Mr. Dabro. That guy has got spunk.
He has never bitched or complained about his age. He's always shown pride in his age.
I'm not an old man. I'm an older man.
Kenny is a positive influence, He's always encouraging me.
Whenever I'm with anybody, I try to convey to them anything that'll make them feel positive about themselves.
It makes you want to work out harder, or take better care of yourself, because maybe one day you can live like Kenny at 90 years old.
It's a fight, but it's a fight you have to win.
Ken has the strongest strength of mind of any individual I've ever met.
You're either going to keep climbing or you're going to go like this.
There are days when he tells me that he's a little bit down, but he's still out.
Why would you add to their burden in life when you can cheer them up? And we have a choice. So that's what I try to do.
It's the concept of what amazing, wonderful things are still yet to come that makes me want to go and chase those things. And I think that's from hanging around with him for all these years.
My message to Ken is very simple. I love you, Ken. Thank you for everything you've done for me. And your spirit will always be alive.
Thanks. That kind of gets to me.
Let's make it another 30.
I love you. You have been a tremendous force in my life. You've been a tremendous friend, and you've always been there for me, even when I wasn't there for myself.
I'm one guy. There's people that he could have spent years with, or he could have spent a half hour with at some bar that he met or whatever, and their lives are changed forever.
These are the best years of my life. Now, are they coming to an end? Some people don't like the word die, so you'll pass on. You go somewhere else. Maybe you won't go somewhere else. Who knows? Who cares? You're alive now. Now, do I want to live 10 more? Of course. Is that my goal? You bet. But if it doesn't happen, that's okay too. And I just want to make sure that when that happens, I'm still in the right frame of mind. And that's an effort. And the effort don't get easier, it gets tougher. But guess what? Ready for the fight, kid. Always ready for the fight.